This show is a member of the Sorgatron Media Podcast Network. Find out more at sorgatronmedia.com. This show is brought to you by Slice on Broadway, supporting Pittsburgh podcasting with the perfect pepperoni pizza. Production services by Sidekick Media Services. And listeners like you, supporting us at patreon.com/awesomecast. It's time to get geeky, get awesome. It is the AwesomeCast. I'm Mike Sorg at Sorgatron on the Twitter here in the Sorgatron Media Studios in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, ready to get awesome with you. And we got an awesome crew with us tonight. First of all, from Dormont, PA, just a borough over and over the line. And from Studio C is the gadget guru from Big Bank International, Esquire. It is John Chichilla.
How's it going? Happy Lunar New Year.
Yeah, happy Lunar New Year.
Isn't that? I think it's today.
That works out well because our anniversary for Wrestling Mayhem show, which is typically the actual anniversary is the beginning of January, but we flip the odometer over to 800 tonight. So I don't feel weird doing it now because now it's like, hey, it is a new year, so we can do the anniversary, right? Is that how it works?
I think so. And if you, I didn't realize this. If you type in Lunar New Year into Google. It does like fireworks. There's a celebration in the Google return.
Oh, really?
Because I didn't know, because they do it's the year of the tiger.
Well, they have the thing on the front page here, on there. So let's see if I search for Lunar New Year, is it going to do some things? I got fireworks!
Hey.
Yay! And they're tiger fireworks.
I saw the tiger.
They're tiger fireworks! Yay! I don't know why Mickey and Minnie are part of this. Okay. Happy Lunar New Year. Also with us is the proprietor of RIZZ Plays Games on Twitch. He tries.
I try.
The RIZZ.
That's all I ask. That's all I do. I try.
There you go.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm like the Mickey and Minnie of this podcast.
Okay. All right. Sure thing. Good to have you back here, Riz. Thank you for filling. Apparently, we only get one Dutter's Day for February, but it's okay. It's a short month, so
that's true.
A lot of apparently home Tuesday games for the Pens this month. So, but thank you. We will be having a rotating co-host slot filling situation this month. So, and Riz is the first of that. And thanks. And there's a lot of game news in the stories this month. So this really actually works out well. You're happy. Well, anyways, let's get going so we can get right into it. Please check out everything at AwesomeCast.com. You can subscribe to the show over there. You can hit us up over at AwesomeCast, and as well as tweet us at AwesomeCast on the Facebook. We are on the Facebook group. You have a lot of great stories and conversations being shared. We also have an AwesomeCast Discord. You can link from AwesomeCast.com and over on the AwesomeCast Reddit page. And, of course, did I mention Twitter? Yeah, tweet us as well. And we're live every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on the AwesomeCast Facebook, YouTube, Twitter is streaming as well, and as well as over on the Sorgatron Media Twitch page. We are hanging out in the chat rooms, keeping an eye out what's going on there. And if you guys have any comments during the show, want to join us live on any of those platforms, we invite you to. Dave Ponner's hanging out, and he says, wow, fireworks, how yinzer. We have fireworks like all year long, especially this neighborhood. I just feel like there's just all summer. I don't know if they were just holding on to them through COVID or something, but just like and you live in a Pittsburgh neighborhood, you always have to play that game, gunshots or fireworks. So that's maybe not out there in Dormont, but we the city. But I feel fine. Yeah, does that make me Mike Morales? I don't know if that crosses over well, Chilla, with the shirt.
It looks like a Miles Morales shirt.
It is.
Is it not?
Yeah, it's my Miles Spider-Man.
That makes you can be Mike Morales.
There you go.
Okay. I could, I guess. But it was I'm a big fan of Spider-Verse. I've been a big fan of Miles. Listen, I'm going to be a Miles Morales hipster fan over here. I was I read the comic books when Miles was introduced. Well, in the trade paperback, So Yeah, I'm that guy. Anyways, and also give a shout out to our friends at postindustrial.com. Of course, they got a lot of great podcasts over there, and they've been sharing the love with AwesomeCast as well with their audience. So thank you. And anybody's coming over from Post Industrial listening to the show, we do appreciate it. So please stick around. Also, thank you to our Patreon supporters at patreon.com/awesomecast. People are helping us keep the servers running, keep the lights on here in the studio. Okay, more the servers than the lights. That's a little more expensive. But our friends at the Coffee Club level, Matt Weller, John DeGore, John Carmen, Cynthia Klosky, Scott McTaggart, and Mike Pound, and our friends at the Fantasy Show level, Michael Fedor. Man, he's probably the longest one, right? He's been there forever. Years, it seems. Professor Buzzkill and Dave Ponder. You can support the show, too. Get some extra... So I finally got a lot of the Patreon extra content out of the way, and this week you're going to get... You had one, I think, on Monday. You're going to get 3 dumps of Patreon exclusive content this week and some of the conversations we've been having off air here. So look out for that, and some of those behind the scenes with wait, are we in the Sorgverse? It's kind of that seems about right. But no, go check that out. Patreon.com/awesomecast. As low as $1. You can support the show, show your support to your show, get some special feeds, some special content with that. And as we hope to roll out some more stuff here in the near future, you'll get first dibs on those as well. So working on some fun stuff on Mayhem Show. I'm hoping to bring over for the Patreon on AwesomeCast as we kind of get things rolling on this. So, it's that rebuilding. It's a rebuilding year. That's the thing. A refocus. We were looking at a full year ahead of us without hopefully any interruptions. Last year was are we going to do this? We've gotten up to speed, I think, for the most part. This year we're reevaluating and seeing where everything's at and trying to be better at it. And all those kinds of things. So, but anyways, that's enough of that. Let's get into our awesome things of the week. And by the way, guys, ignore my awesome thing. I forgot to bring it in, so I want to push it to next week. But in the meantime, Chilla, what's your awesome thing of the week?
So my awesome thing of the week is actually a good deal on a external SSD drive.
I literally
SanDisk. Have you used these before?
Not these, but I literally had a drive fail and needed to go grab a new hard drive yesterday. So, although this wouldn't have been enough because I needed to clear like 4 terabytes. So.
Oh yeah, they make a 4 terabyte model.
Go that for those prices. Holy crap! This is what my 8 terabyte cost, I believe. So
I actually, I don't know. I gotta see. Is there one? There, it's in my backpack. I have a couple that I got on sale, but these are the newest model, so they are a bit pricey. 1 terabyte, a 1 terabyte drive is $209.99. It's 32% off. You save $100. They're typically about $310.
Okay.
And this is the newer generation, so it's 2,000 meg per second data transfer rate. SSD. You can get the funny part is they're on sale today so much that I think the same the same space but the older model is actually more money.
Oh geez.
But I have found these on on good deals on these at like your Costco's. I think I got a terabyte for like $100. It's the older generation. Where I find these super helpful because they are so fast. I use one of these on my Xbox, and it cut my game load time in half for pretty much all my games or more. I'm trying to remember what it was. One of the Star Wars games was taking forever to load, and it went from like a 40-second load down to like under 10 seconds. So it was definitely worth it. I also use one of these with my Mac if I'm editing video and want to offload a large amount of data. You can use these, and they're extremely snappy. The thing I like about the SanDisk ones is they're kind of shock proof. It's like it's a rubber exterior and rubber ring around the outside.
They remind me of the old Lacey drives with the orange bumpers on them. Like I don't know if they called it that, but I called my drive a life raft.
I could definitely see, yes, it's the life raft. But I don't know. I've always been impressed with the drives. I've never had one knock on wood, yet fail. But I do use them quite more frequently than I use any other type of external drive.
Mm-hmm. Sounds good. So I've been looking at this, and my experience. I want a good SSD like this, and I've been considering about moving my work, like active big project work, to a drive like this. Because but then I've had a weird experience. So I use SSDs. We have some recorders here in the studio, some HyperDecks and some Atomos Ninjas. So I have several solid state drives, and sometimes I'll record the show on one of those and then use that drive in the caddy. And I just edited a 3-camera shoot for a wrestling show from this past weekend on one of those, and it was weird because it's the first time I saw skipping. And I'm on a brand new Mac Mini with the M1 processor, and I felt like, but it wasn't like the footage skipping. It wasn't all of the footage. It would skip on the main view, but not the individual views, right? So, and again, I don't know if that's an SSD. Was that something else? But generally, yeah, I want to get away from spinning drives, and I just freaking bought another 8 terabyte because I needed to. But I need Chilla, I need a backup solution, and I priced it out, and I think I need about 50 terabytes, which costs about $2,000 for me to get a backup system in NAS here in the studio.
Wow.
Yeah, because that's how much backflow I have. Like every time you see me go on a weekend and I'm doing say a wrestling show or an MMA show, that is a quarter to half a terabyte each time I do that. It adds up. It adds up a lot. So
yeah, if you want to keep all that and archive it.
Yeah. Well, and thankfully I don't have to keep the MMA boxing stuff. Like the guy's sending me a drive, and then as soon as I see a go, I can delete it. It's not my responsibility anymore. But I'm gonna have to hold on to that for a little bit. And then all the wrestling shows, I have the original cameras for almost 10 years of pretty much 10 years of wrestling shows, unless I did them live. Live, I don't keep the cameras, but if I had to post edit it, they're all there. There's several years of shows and original footage. Probably a lot of people that are signed to WWE right now. So I don't know what you do with that, but I have it because
NFTs.
NFT. Let me you an NFT this odd wild shot of Wardlow scratching his ass that we didn't use, in the corner. Who knows? Actually, that might be Rob. If you're out there,
somebody might want that.
Rob, I might have a new video project for you. Hold on. So that might be. Damn it, that's an idea. If
you become a billionaire, just remember the little people.
Well, I'm not sold on NFTs. There's a Minecraft.
I'm not sold off on NFTs either. But
Yeah. I'm seeing the cracks in that. Every time I think about it and wrap my head around, I was like, yeah, but what about this? How do I trust X and Y is this? What is this dependent on? Did you guys see? Okay, we're spinning off from your story, but did you guys see the kind of Minecraft type game that was run on NFTs that made $1 million and then disappeared?
Seems about right. I haven't heard about it, but it seems about right.
But so it was a Minecraft-like game. It looks like they're straight rips of Minecraft. They were the original. It was original content. They sold a bunch of items in the game as NFTs, and then the service shut down. So that's my thing. Is great, you're on the blockchain, but that still points to somewhere on the internet. And if somebody somewhere in the internet 10 years, a year from now, 2 months from now decides not to pay their internet bill, your thing disappeared. You're paying for a slot on the blockchain that leads to nothing. And man, that's the part where I'm just like, wait, what are we investing in? So, but I don't know. And that's not a wholesale throwing NFTs out the window. I'm still always read up on new things like this. Always try to understand as best as you can. So especially if you're a creative or in any kind of business, to see, what it could be an entry point for you, right? Because this could be inevitable, just like Facebook. Everybody Sorry, I'm quoting Gary Vee at this point, but everybody joked about Facebook not being serious about it. And now look at it; it basically owns everything, right? You quote have to be on it to represent. So I don't know. Anyways, that aside, let's get into another awesome thing of the week that's not as depressing. Riz, what's yours?
So, you guys remember Shovel Knight, the game?
The what night?
Shovel Knight.
Shovel Knight? Wait, yeah,
Yes.
this sounds familiar.
So Shovel Knight is a 2D scroller video game,
Right.
by people from Yacht Games,
Okay.
Yacht Games, Yacht Club Games, I believe it's called, and it grew from a Kickstarter, and it grew and grew and grew, even so much so that it was, I think, at top 10 of the characters that people wanted to see in Super Smash Brothers at one point.
Nice.
It's a really good retro 2D scroller game. So yeah, those guys have a lot of money and a lot of fun things to do. So they made, these other games of the spin-offs of these, the different characters, different aspects of it. And now they come back with a whole new IP called Mina the Hollower. And they're going back to a Kickstarter.
Mm-hmm.
They're going back to a retro style game, and it's more of a top-down. I believe they were linking it to a Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening type video game where it's just top-down and some side scrollers as well. They compared it to Link's Awakening, Dark Souls, Bloodborne, Castlevania, something that I don't think mix well. But you look at these graphics right now, they are one of it started today. This started today, and I backed it at 80,000.
Yeah,
that was at the beginning of this show.
It's at 127, and I've been watching this thing go. It actually went down. I've never seen it go down before.
I don't know why it went down,
but it's going. It's going.
But they announced this on G4's XPlay.
Okay.
They did a whole special about it and everything. But if you look at this game, it looks nice.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited about this. And Yacht Games knows what they're doing. They know people are going to buy this game. They definitely know they're going to reach the $300,000 threshold that they have. They know people are going to support it at $20 per game. Seriously, it's $20 per game for a digital download of this game.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like it should be 60. Should be more. So I'm 100% behind this game. Just by the looks of it. Also, you play as a little mouse, but that's beyond the point. But all in all, I kind of want to play it. I really want to play this. I want to stream it. I want to do. I want to make sure this. I want to play this game because it looks like it's a fun side-scrolly, top-down adventure that I cannot wait to play.
Awesome.
I'm not even sure when it's going to come out.
That's awesome.
But I tell you what's this? Because I didn't realize you can pick up Shovel Knight for the Switch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You can pick it up anywhere. I think it's on even iOS
Steam.
devices, maybe. Yeah.
I saw Pocket Edition. I didn't look at what.
Yeah.
I'm guessing that's.
But yeah, if you haven't played Shovel Knight, it is really good.
Well, I like it because it looks like it's multiplayer too. So that to me makes it more fun.
It's amazing. Even the multiplayer is pretty good, awesome too. I've seen it. I've seen people stream it with other people. It's amazing. But yeah, I'm sold on Yacht Club Gaming, period. So I definitely wanted to back this game, and I know they probably could make this on their own, but again, they're making they know what they're doing. They have that backing of. What is it? Almost right now it's 1,700, almost 1,800 people, backers right now, and they know it's gonna grow in 1 month, obviously. So
that G4 shout out definitely didn't hurt them, did it?
no, but they could have just released this game. Like they just could have released this Kickstarter, and they would have had at least this much.
But man, how much nicer just knowing things will be, that you have those first batch of sales instead of releasing and hoping, right?
Yeah.
So 100%. I mean, that's a big thing. That's a big thing.
And they know what they're doing.
I mean, they just didn't get like straight publisher support, so they needed to kind of wrap it up, or they just wanted to do it a different way and see if they could. So
I'm surprised more indie games, like indie game developers, don't do this.
Mm-hmm.
Like they should.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you have that strong of a backing, if you have that strong of support, people will buy your game.
Mm-hmm.
It could look like garbage, but people will still buy your game if they know if they see you back, if they see you, like if they see your company, if they see you're developing this game, they're still going to try it. They're still going to want to play this game, and that's what they're doing. That's what Yacht Club's doing, and it's working to perfection.
Mm-hmm.
It already got me on board.
Awesome. All right, I'm going to get the boring one because my awesome thing of the week is I had a bad day yesterday. I had a drive that decided, I'm not gonna work. Got a weird error, and first aid wouldn't work on the Mac, and it was one of my latest primary, almost full 4 terabyte passport drives. So some files I needed were on there. And to do a podcast I was supposed to work on yesterday, and I did, and things worked out. And I'll tell you why they worked out. First of all, I since moving to a desktop computer, my Backblaze is completely up to date, no problem there. I'm not trying to like plug in my laptop for days at a time and make the battery swell again, because as I did it like 2 times now with laptops. So I was like, screw it, I'm going to get a Mac Mini a couple months ago, and got the nice M1. But the nice thing is, like, okay, the drive failed, and I had options. And it's the first time I felt like I wasn't completely, other than the annoyance of having to deal with the options, I didn't feel like I lost anything, which is great. And there's two reasons. First, Backblaze. I was ready, absolutely ready to drop the money on it and drop, like, it was like $208, and they'll send you an 8 terabyte drive, which would have your 4 terabytes of info that I needed, basically. And they have smaller, if you only need like I think half a terabyte, there's a USB, like a smaller USB drive version. It's going to be like maybe $90 or something like that. And the nice thing is with the drive, like they send it to you, and if you send it back, they will actually refund your money. So you can go get your your drive back, copy it to a new drive, send that drive back, and you're good to go. Although it's an 8 terabyte hard drive, why not keep it, right? It's about how much it was, because we ended up just grabbing another one at Staples because I needed some stuff more immediately, and we could swing it, so we did. And we're like, okay, I got another hard drive, that's fine. Not like I'm not going to use it. But the thing that ended up saving the day in a much quicker way, other than having to go having a Staples on the corner, I've been using this for a little bit. I don't think I've talked about it here on the show, and maybe you guys have heard about it, because I've been wondering about like drive software. And I bought this a while ago when I think I had one of those SSDs fail on me, or accidentally deleted something that was important on there, and I needed something to recover it. And I have Disk Warrior, but that's not compatible with the new drives right now. So this is called Disk Drill, is what I came across. Not only did this thing look through my files, and from what I can tell, recovered everything on there, because I have a feeling I just got a bad bit and it corrupted the file system kind of situation. So it cleanly, over about 12 or 13 hours overnight, brought all that info over, did a quick look through it. I wanted to go more in depth to be sure, but it recovered it. Guys, this is the other thing. If you're familiar with Drobos, Chilla, I know you are, but the data robotics thing, it's the thing where you get this box, you throw hard drives in it, and it's supposed to protect your info by spreading it across the drives, basically, kind of backup of itself in there. So if a drive fails, you pull the drive out, replace it, it'll replenish it, and everything's good. I have 2 of these 4 drive systems. I have a third one that I still run. It's a newer one. It's USB 3. But I have 2 older ones. They have FireWire on them. That's how old they are. That have been just sitting and the software that I thought I needed to recover them was $600, and I was not willing to drop on just these. And it's just old projects, stuff I'd like to have back. And this is the first time that I had something a while ago, and I need to put in the time, unfortunately, to deal with them. But this is the first time I've been able to look at these drives and see files. The file structure, unfortunately, is gone because it's a Drobo file structure, and I'm just going to get files without labels, which is going to be really fun. And a hell of a project, but plus duplicated because of what they do with their compression and everything. But this worked out really well for me. It's Mac, it's PC. I bought it once. I put it on everything. It's on Macs and PCs, multiple of them under my license. I don't know if it limits otherwise to that, but it's cleverfiles.com is where this is from. It's updated for your M1 Macs, Mac OS Monterey ready, and all that kind of stuff. It's pricey as far as, I would say it's pricey, but as far as disk recovery software goes, it's not that bad. I think I paid the $89 for the Pro, and I'm fairly certain I paid the extra $29 for the lifetime upgrades as well, because you want that, because whenever there's a new damn file system that Mac OS puts out, you want to make sure that's covered. So, and again, that's for, you and me, not running a multi-person business, right? So that includes like one user up to 3 simultaneous activations. I mean, I'm not really running more than 3 ongoing computers that have drives attached, right? So, but you can get the free if you're, and that's one thing I like about some of this software. That it's one of those that lets you download a free version, so you can at least throw it at a drive that you like had fail on you and see, will it even see these files before you drop money on it? Like you can see, okay, it sees there's my stuff. I know I'm not going to waste $90 on this thing and not get my stuff back, right? I can at least see it, and I'll maybe let you recover like 10 files or something like that, so you can see that it works before you dive into it. So it's disk drill, cleverfiles.com. I've been using it here for a bit because I'm clumsy and things fail, especially if you have spinning hard drives. Hell, even SSDs sometimes go wonky on you, right? So that's my recommendation. It's been working out great, and it could have made a bad day yesterday even worse if I did not have software like this on hand. So, and also, again, I had options, right? Other than I really need a good backup solution in studio, to swap my files out. Oh man, this drive failed. Well, it's synced to this drive over here, pull it over the network, and let's continue working, right? But still, like having that good backup solution will save you time, will save you money later, will save you a lot of headaches, may save you a client in the long run too. So all those kinds of things. It's just one of those things. If you're doing anything that with files that are important, it's worthwhile. So.
And that's not a bad price at all, because I've paid to recover data even off of old compact flash cards and random SD cards, and that's worth its price alone, just based on the fact that you can get a lifetime license. It's not and lifetime upgrades, and it's allowed on multiple machines, because most of those you get, it's like a one-time use code, and if you switch machines or you switch anything, it's toast. So that's a great price. And I think of like digital cameras where you accidentally hit the delete button and there's no garbage can, right?
Yep. That's basically what happened with the SSDs. Yeah. We're just like, oops, we formatted this. Throw it in the thing and recover it before we do anything else, right? Mm-hmm. So, because if you guys don't know, if you format something or throw something in the trash, or full delete it, like those bits are still there. It just disappeared until they get written over by something else, right? So, think of it that way. And also on top of that, this does do, like, there's other tools with it that I haven't even dived into a lot of this, actually. I didn't even know that some of these were features. It's saying all major devices supported, including iOS and Android recovery. So that, man, I'm thinking of a couple things where my mom was like, I get my pictures back. I'm like, nope. But maybe we could have with something like this. And there's it has things like it'll do recover, like if your drive is smart compatible, it'll give you updates on that. For instance, I have this HP all-in-one that I've been running my Twitch streams off of at home, and I just noticed, this drive's gonna fail soon. So I'm at least emotionally ready for it. I mean, if it fails, I'm just gonna swap the drive and reinstall the system and reinstall Windows 10 and go from there. But nothing's vital on it. It's like just a few video games and OBS set up with Twitch and stuff. It's fine. Either way, I got a project in front of me if that thing fails. So, but generally, not a worry. And at least when you have an awareness. I think I have 2 smart drives connected to my Mac Mini, including the drive in the Mac Mini. And the other one's that life raft that we were talking about earlier. And it's letting me, I see the temperature and everything. It's letting me know everything's good. I'm sure it'll do a pop-up when it's not. And, anything you can do to kind of, keep that stuff together. So, well, one thing that doesn't need a lot of recovery is our friends at Slice on Broadway. Hell, they've gone strong through all this downturn from the looks of things. They're busier than ever. Good to see New York City style yins are made in Beachview, Carnegie, East End, and the North Hills. Here in the Pittsburgh area. If you're around, please go check them out. Thank you to them for supporting the show for so very long over these years. We really do appreciate it. And again, feeding guests that are coming in the studio. We do have something of a beast man coming here later today. So looking forward to that. And at least and that's somebody, he's got a long drive from deepest, darkest West Virginia. And want to make sure that he's got dinner covered. So our friends at Slice on Broadway are helping out with those kinds of things with our guests here. So, and one day when we can have our studio audience with all this extra room we have now because of the big move, green screen situation or whatever we're doing over there. Whoops, hey, hit the wrong button. But thank you to them, sliceonbroadway.com. What are we getting into? Let's talk some video game talk. Guys, there's been rumors of it. I think we've seen the articles, but I finally got to in practice use. I think you might have seen my post. I was playing NVIDIA GeForce Now in browser through the Edge browser on my original Xbox One. And to prove it is a picture that I put on Facebook of, if it helps you, I see he's pulling up the browser, so this might not work right. Here's a picture of Fire Pro Wrestling World on an Xbox loading on my TV. And why this is important, because Fire Pro Wrestling World was not released for Xbox. It is a PlayStation game. It is a Steam game on your PC. That is it, and this is the way I play it, because I don't have a lot of gaming PCs that don't also dual boot Mac that I'm using for work that could run a game like this at a decent clip. So I've been playing it in the cloud. And you can see there, this is great, but for whatever reason, this game would consistently have the press and hold escape to exit full screen pop up. And also every once in a while, the mouse will pop up in the middle. And you've already hit the button for controller capture, so you can use this. I think if I just plugged in a mouse, I probably could have fixed it as well. I was using a Microsoft keyboard and just didn't grab a mouse to do that. But yeah, I mean, you plug it in. Again, just plugged in a Microsoft keyboard, and everything works as you expect. You kind of forget you're on an Xbox when you do this thing, which is kind of nice. And I played a little bit of this. I played a little bit of the Darksiders, not Warhammer Edition. It was like their enhanced re-release of the original game. But so ran great. Really happy with it. Honestly, runs a little better than Game Pass xCloud on the Xbox One. Now my Xbox One is plugged directly into the router. So there should be zero latency for things like this. And again, it runs very, very well. And I've also been running GeForce on my Chromecast, Google TV Chromecast in my bedroom. Also runs very, very well. It's just, those little kind of the browser issues like I'm showing. But again, I think I plug in a mouse, I can fix that for the most part. But tried those two games, maybe a third one I threw in there as well. and really, really happy with the performance. So on top of this, and I feel like every day I'm getting a new notice about a LG TV or something that's going to have GeForce Now installed on it. NVIDIA also announced that their newest card that you cannot get in the store because of all these shortages is now available on the servers for GeForce Now. So if you can't get one of these newfangled RTX GeForce cards, if you subscribe to them at certain levels, I only have a founder's account, so I have the base level, but I only pay $5 a month for this thing. But at certain levels, you can get the higher end cards. I think it's like, I haven't looked at the pricing for a while since I just don't. But generally, I mean, either way, these things run at a better clip and better computer than I have dedicated to gaming for sure. So worthwhile. It doesn't have everything. I'm lucky enough that I have something like, I know I have 40 some games from my Steam collection. I think I have something like 80 games in this between Epic, because Epic gives away a free game like every week, guys, and most of the time they end up on this service. So keep that in mind if you're looking at this. If you're like, hey, I'm paying $5 a month and I don't have any games, you got free play games like Fortnite and Brawlhalla and Destiny, Apex Legends, Counter-Strike, Rocket League. Like, you can play through this. If you're like, I love to play Rocket League, but my computer sucks, here it is. Here it is right here. And it looks better than my Xbox for sure when I do that. So, RIZZ, you're a game player. Have you been looking at these cloud games? You're also a PlayStation one, so I know you're not using cloud except for like old PlayStation games on there.
Yeah. Like I'm going directly through you on this one, Sorg.
Okay.
Because I've only played video games on my laptop or my previously stated PlayStation 4.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how does, like, graphically it looks good. It looks amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, from the picture that I'm seeing right now.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any? You said there's no delays at all, correct?
Well, yeah, as long as you don't have. Every once in a while, you'll have like kind of a dip in quality. Like especially on my Google TV upstairs, it's on some Eros, and it's mostly solid. But every once in a while, you'll get kind of a stutter. And honestly, if you got a pretty decent connection, you'll get that every once in a while. And I think it's comparable to if you have a computer that's not up to snuff. You know what I mean? Because we were playing, something was screwy, and I played the cloud version of Quake with my brother when we were doing Twitch streams a couple weeks ago, because I just didn't have it on my computer or wasn't installing right. And it would glitch every once in a while. I'm like, hey, man. Like, even if there's a delay, it's just like playing Quake back in 1998 when this came out or whatever, because we were doing it on dial-up. And if you may remember, if you played Quake on dial-up or Doom or whatever, almost always, like, I think for the longest time, if you hit fire, it was a moment before you fired the gun. So, like, that was standard back then. So if you have a little bit that now, it just feels like, kind of right and classic in a way, doesn't it? So,
yeah, I need to look into this more, because I barely have heard of GeForce Now, and I know you've talked about it a lot. Mm-hmm. You're like my go-to guy for GeForce Now.
I think it's worthwhile. If you got a lot of PC games in your collection, I would go for it. I would also it doesn't have everything. Like, they had Batman on, then they took them off and things like that. So look at the top games maybe on your Steam account that you play. Search for them, make sure they're on it. It's a little weird that way. But if there's enough there, like, I'll play this game. Or this is a game that I haven't been playing because I don't have good enough of a computer. Look at this. It starts at like $5 or $10 a month versus buying a new computer. So that you have to upgrade, And they upgrade the servers. Just like how Game Pass Cloud, went from some, Series S's to, or Xbox One S's to Series S, so like you can play, they just are added those new cars that you literally can't get in the store because of the shortages. That's nice. That's really nice. And if you're somebody who's like, I don't want to have to keep up with $3,000 computers every couple of years to play PC games, I think it makes economical sense big time. So, anyways, more gaming news. It's basically all we freaking have here. So, let's see what else is in the story page. So that was my hands-on that we got into. Do we want to call out the weird ad that Podner was getting?
Oh, he's not the only one who gets those.
You've been getting those too?
I saw that in there. I was surprised to see it for Switch.
Yeah, for Switch.
Yeah.
So I remember back in the day, when in our teenage years, probably, there would be like flash games and things that were basically Tetris or something like that, but you remove the blocks and there's like a naked cartoon lady underneath, or sometimes not cartoon.
Like I remember going like to an establishment.
Yeah,
they have those like
bars would have that
100 games in one.
Yeah,
there's like this little button here that says 18 or older. And it's like this game.
You'd have a sexy lady. It's a block game. So apparently a lot of us being gamers are getting these Amazon.com ads on Facebook for something called Crawlco Block Knockers. And there's a lady. And we're like, this can't be. The question was, this can't be right. This can't be real, right?
Nope,
but turns out, I mean, it's on the Nintendo Switch of all places. It's on Nintendo.com. There is an age verification on there, so I'm just gonna nope. Smiley face is not a applicable age. Probably
56.
56, yeah.
There, that should be old enough, right? So
198.
yeah, it's like a 90. It's a $9 game. It's digital. You can pick it up, and there's like cartoon ladies, and you move the blocks, and that's it. Nudity. There's nudity in the thing.
Is there?
Yeah.
Real nudity?
It says nudity. It claims nudity in the ERSB.
I remember playing that game and this game at a bar as well. I mean, nobody was watching me, but like it didn't shock me. Like Nintendo has been dabbling in the dark arts for quite some time.
The dark arts.
Dark arts.
Yeah. Like, I mean, Conker's Bad Fur Day.
Mm-hmm.
Period.
Yes.
Yeah, I can just pull that up.
Well, it's hilarious because if you play the Xbox version, it's censored.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to play the original N64 version to get all the really lewd stuff.
But like
mostly words, but
yeah, well, yeah. Like I even just looked up the top games that are 16-year-old, like 16 and up games on Nintendo, and it's like I remember playing like Mortal Kombat's on here, of course, Manhunt 2, Bully, stuff like that, and then they brought up a game that I totally forgot until right now. Narc.
Oh, I remember playing that in the arcade.
That was one of the games featured in the arcade scene of the Ninja Turtles movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So I'm sitting there, I'm looking at this, I'm like, this seems about right.
Yep.
Like it seems about right for Nintendo to do. Like it's not gonna sell out at all.
No.
It's just gonna be there. That's why it's being sold on, like, that's why it's being on ads at Amazon.
Yeah.
Like you don't see Mario Odyssey or
it gets you to click. It gets you to click.
Right? It clicks. It's clickbait.
So
I mean, that's pretty much it.
I'm basically. I mean, I don't know if it's an awesome thing, but it's just one of those things. Hey, these games still exist, and it was just kind of like a wild thing. I'd be like, what? Like this is a real game? Are you sure about this? So especially like it's because Nintendo's been doing, M-rated content like for the last 25 years or so. So, but we still think about that, especially people of our age, right? We still remember that. And
I mean, Leisure Suit Larry's on the Nintendo Switch.
Yes, it is. So,
which
here's a fun thing, because I follow Heavy Metal Jesus on YouTube, and I haven't watched a lot of videos, but I saw the thing pop up because he had thoughts, and he's somebody that used to work at Sierra Online. So Xbox or Microsoft through this purchase of Activision Blizzard will own Leisure Suit Larry.
Nice.
Which, but also they're really good. If you missed the Sierra games, Apparently, the majority of them are available on Good Old Games, GOG.com, via Activision. They put a lot of the originals on there, including Leisure Suit Larry. I wonder if Cyber Gladiators is on
King's
there.
Quest.
King's Quest, sure.
Well,
I mean, I felt
Quest-
like all the top games were from Sierra Online back in the day. Half of them came with my computer, my IBM Aptiva from Radio Shack. So
half of them I played at school.
yeah, that too. Phantasmagoria. No?
Game at school.
No, not at school. Not at school. I had a demo disc or demo from PC Gamer or something like that. So, anyways, and those are nice. Oh, good.
I was gonna say, if you ever get a chance, and I am trying to see, I think you might be able to get it on Steam. There was an old game that we played way back in the day, and it was called Rex Nebular and the Cosmic Gender Bender.
Oh,
it was kind of reminded you of that King's Quest run around, try to solve kind of puzzles. I highly recommend it.
Oh, and by the way, Steam has a Lunar New Year sale going on right now.
See, it's Lunar New Year.
Of course they do.
Yeah, if you want to get Jump Force for $6 or The Witcher for $8, it looks like. Oh no!
Don't click on it.
Don't click on it. No. And that's why I have so many games for GeForce, because I will always grab up a bunch of games on the Steam sales and then never play them. So.
All right, New World's coming down. That's good.
Yeah, the New World is coming down. You can get the last WWE game for $15 still. Tekken's $8. Hitman 2. Let's see. Dragon Ball Z. Which Dragon Ball Z is this? This is Kakaro? I don't know.
Was that their new one?
Is that the newest one?
Kakarot. That's not.
Oh, Kakarot. There. Yeah, I see.
Kakarot.
I can barely.
I don't think that's
read
the
it.
newest one. I think that's like a.
No, I want the one.
first-
I want to see the Dragon Ball Z game that looks like Dead by Daylight, where it's the PVE.
Yeah, where it's like one villain versus villagers.
Basically,
pretty
nobody is a super powered Saiyan. You're all regular people, and then there's like some big bad, like a cell or something, and you have to try to avoid it and beat it and everything like that. Just like Dead by Daylight. Dead by Daylight came over on my GeForce Now, and I started playing it, and it's one of those like Missy's like, "What the hell is this game?" I'm like, it's something.
Dead by Daylight is really good.
It is very good. Well, it's good because while I was playing I'm aware of Friday the 13th. And then Dead by Daylight is if they kept going further.
And also, Dead by Daylight has Bubba from Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh, they got a lot of people in there. Yeah. They got the screen.
Had own Dead by Daylight video game. Like his own separate video game. So coming out, so it's like, oh, that's nice.
Yeah, they're really good with that. A lot of familiar things in there. So they're definitely worthwhile.
And also that Dragon Ball game is called Dragon Ball: The Breakers.
Yes. Real quick, I want to touch on a couple of these. You got one, Riz, but I want to set you up with this. Hey, I played Wordle for a week. Apparently everybody else did too, and the game has been bought by the New York Times. Now the owner of this game, he wasn't aiming to, wasn't going to put ads on it or anything like that. But it was just kind of a fun side project. Apparently, a few of these that he's done, and he I think it became too much for him to handle when Wordle kind of went crazy over the last couple of months. And he had a message up today, and let's see, this is only launched in October. I thought it'd been around a little longer than that, but I guess that's it. So Josh Wardle, that's with an A, not an O, and his partner. They sold it to the New York Times. They said they like how they handle their games over there. They're handing it over to them. And I'm sure they're getting no small amount of money for this, but so the New York Times will be taking that on. So now and nothing's going to change. It's just going to change the address or something like that, and they'll handle it from there. Because I am sure somebody received a hell of a server bill over the last 2 months. So you can say you're going to leave it out there for free all you want, but when half the world's playing it, something's going to have to break at that point, right? So, so it's like, it's one of those, listen, you're talking to the guy that had a GoDaddy account, and I was serving digital downloads of pro wrestling shows from it on an unlimited GoDaddy account. And you're like, you got to stop this. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I have an unlimited account. And you're like, well, you have, how much was it at the time? I think I had at least hundreds of gigabytes on their server. That was unlimited because it was all the video files of shows we were shooting and selling. And they're like, well, yes, but you have so much information on here. It's because I'm on a virtual server. It was slowing down service for everybody else. So that's why a couple years there, we had a lot of trouble with digital downloads because we had to find a new place that we could afford at the time. And here along came Vimeo. But anyways,
Sorg broke GoDaddy.
I broke GoDaddy. I did. I pushed GoDaddy to its limit, and they said no more. No more, sir. And I'm trying to, and ever since, I've been trying to move my domains from it every time I think about it when they come up for renewal. Anyway, so I got a lot of them off of there. Hover.com. That leads into a story that you have, Riz.
It is. It's not really a story. It's also just a new game that I've been playing.
Mm-hmm.
So take Wordle or Words with Friends or Scrabble, mostly Scrabble, I believe, and add that to like a Call of Duty Warzone, Fortnite, some sort of battle royale game, and you get this game that should not work.
Mm-hmm.
It should not.
Is this
work.
like, what was the Mortal Kombat or the Pong that was like Pong Combat?
Oh,
do you know what I'm talking about?
I remember what you're talking about. Yeah, it's a very, very similar to that mashup.
Okay.
Because it's pretty much combining words to your last word that you've used, and then you come up to somebody else who's making some other word.
Nope, that's not it.
And nope, that's not it.
It went to a different video. I'm sorry.
That's okay, but you make this. That's still not me, Sorg. Oh, that's still. I'm looking at the.
You're looking at the feed. You're looking at the wrong. You're looking at the wrong monitor, Riz.
But it's called Babel Royale, and you connect words, and you take out people.
It looks like Scrabble.
It is Scrabble. It's very much word Scrabble, like a very much Warzone Scrabble, and like getting that, like that took me probably 5-6 tries to do to get the first place. So it's pretty easy to pick up, but it's very addicting. Like, it's a free to play game, of course, but it is one of the more fun games that I have played on stream or anywhere. Like I almost played it like before I came on here, but it's one of those games where it doesn't take much. It doesn't take much. But it's very strategic how you do it, and just like in every battle royale game, the map shrinks each and every time. There are, and as you probably saw in that one small clip, there's power-ups and triple word scores and like just all these different Scrabble and battle royale style power-ups that it actually feels like you're actually playing a game and not just playing Scrabble or Words with Friends.
I'll have to check that out.
One thing, and I'll get back to one thing I wish they had, and this is to the developers of this game. I want private matches. I want either private matches like bringing 5-10 people on, because I think it's like up to 20 like per game. But I want like the option of doing like a private game, so like friends can stream it and do like that, or even like what battle royales have done, which is in teams. Maybe team them up a little bit, like spread them out, make sure everything's good. Different maps would be great, but overall, it's an enjoyable experience.
Does it, when you play, can you and I force ourselves into the same game?
No,
at least, and play versus each other. So it's totally random.
It's totally random.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing, is that I actually had somebody from my stream come buy the game because I was playing it, and then a few moments later, they were in my game.
Nice.
So it's not that big. Like you'll get into the game.
Yeah.
But it does take a while to get into.
It's not going crazy like some of these other ones.
Not yet.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like about a week or two, about a month or two, it will be pretty big. Because you get this free. It's a free, like I said, it's a free game, and it's very fun to play. And that's one thing that a lot of games like this, like an Among Us or any like you mentioned Destiny, those free to play games are worth it because they're free and they're really good.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So I want to touch, because I know Chilla probably has to get out of here, but I want to touch a follow up from last week. So you were asking about apps that tell you the weather when you're driving, right? Chilla?
Apps that tell you, yeah, it's like, but not, yeah. I guess that's
the
one
weather.
way of
the
like,
weather along the way.
If I'm driving, the weather along the way, like, because the weather right now, let's pretend I'm driving
to Chicago, because I do that.
I'm driving to Chicago. What's the weather going to be when I'm driving through Cleveland?
Yeah.
Not now.
Yes.
And not at the time that I'm going to be in Chicago.
Yes.
What's the weather going to be when I'm driving through that location?
I found two options, and I am driving to Chicago next weekend, so I'll test this, and then I'll be driving to Michigan. So I'll have a lot of options for this. So I got two apps. I got Drive Weather, and I got On the Way. Okay, and the On the Way, there's several apps there named this, so be careful with this. So if I could pop over here, so I got this Drive Weather app, and let's see, what's my destination? Let's call it Chicago for now. They're not terribly clean or anything like that, but works out pretty well. So your starting location, these are free. Let's see, get Drive Weather. They're free, and at the bottom it says upgrade for a 7-day outlook, so I can be like, okay, what is it going to look like when I go out there? Wait for this to load for a second. You pick your route, so hopefully you've looked in Google Maps or Waze and already know where you're going. And you go in here, it'll load it up. Sorry, I'm on my iPad, so it's a little slower. Oh, if this loads, it'll give you icons along the way of like snow or not snow or anything like that. Let me try the other one. Now the other one is On the Way, and it's the same thing. Let's go Chicago. Let's just say Chick-fil-A? No, Chicago. Again, it'll fill that in. You'll select your route, and you see here it's showing your weather and any kind of winter storm warnings or anything like that that's along the way here. And it's telling you what time you should be getting there. So it's 8:02 now, and showing that our weather here is 38 degrees. By the time I get to, let's say, South Bend, Indiana, on the way to Chicago, it's going to be 1:08 a.m., 33 degrees, and you see it's going to be, it looks like snow showers, and your storm warning will kick in from there. So this is informative. I'm going to be using it in my upcoming travels. I'm going to try to comparatively use both of these apps and see how well they do. Because the biggest thing is, that's why, because I pushed this too far out. But yeah, and you see as you move I think there's a similar function in the other app. As you move the times here, it's only giving the next day. You'll see there's the snow, there's rain, which is probably ice. Oh wait, no, there's icicles here, so I'm guessing this is freezing rain on the right going on there. And you have some other options through here, but again, what was the temperature, what everything's going to look like, but again, you're going to have to upgrade. Both of these I think are $10 a year if you want to upgrade them. Not too bad if that's a good function. I mean, if it means, hey, leave at, we ran into snow coming from South Bend last weekend. And if we looked at it and had this app and know, like, hey, leave at 6 a.m. instead of 10, you'll miss most of the snow. That would have saved us so much, right? So much of hassle when we're coming through, like, later in the trip, because all you know is what's happening then. And, and I'm trying to, like, okay, what's the weather in Cleveland? What's the weather in Toledo? And to help parse what's going on along the way. But this seems like a good visual thing. Does this seem like the app you were talking about,
and I think it was the first. I think it was the one that you showed in the middle was the one they were using. And because, so did you see how it gave you multiple different trip
Yes.
ways to take your trip? I'd be interested because I think that's what he was using, because they could then compare, like, hey, it's only going to be 10 minutes longer to go this way, and I'll have no weather.
Right, exactly. Like, hey, this way is an extra hour, but there's no snow, or something like that.
Which I mean, snow could impact you for over an hour.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, just look at what happened. Like, on our way back, we kept running into, there was no weather happening on the side of the road, but there was just, for about a mile, there were just randomly cars that had been fender bendered, wrecked, spun off the road. Several were trucks, were semi trucks. Like, it was just a big, just like death mile. It seemed like everybody seemed fine. Everybody's walking around. Didn't seem like it was bad, but still, like, it just seemed like, what happened here? And those are the kinds of things you would also avoid by avoiding that weather. Because I don't know how many times in my travels over the last 6 months I've seen just shut down roads, and thankfully not semi across the highway, and you're just going to have to sit there for a while until that gets taken care of. So.
Well, I had that happen in Green Tree in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, that too.
There was a freak snow that blew through, and the hill at the very end of Green Tree Road, the hill where I think there was like a Marshalls and an NTB, it drops you off at that giant eagle. I mean, I had to pull over because I was sliding down the hill. I couldn't turn around because I wouldn't have made it back up the hill. I was halfway in between up and down. I just pulled over, gave up, and said, I'm waiting for a salt truck to drive by. It was a good 45 minutes to an hour.
Right.
Before I got through, before they came and before I could get moving again. But it's definitely worth it.
I will say the one of these apps, I can't remember which one. So the drive weather one looks like it's by like at least an LLC. The On the Way app it's just like a guy's name as the developer, so that gives me a little bit of pause, but it still looks like the cleaner app of the two. So I don't know. Again, I want to look at both of them. Whichever one I think is more effective over the next month is going to get my $10 for the year, or maybe I just both of them and I'll just keep swapping them and compare shopping of, like, okay, this one says this weather's here. What looks like the best, cleanest thing between the two of them, right? Because they may be using different, just like you go from Apple Maps to Waze, it's going to be different, right? So
or Google or the Weather Channel,
right?
Talks to
right, absolutely.
Is it Peter? Just like Wordle, and they'll own them next week.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Like, when is like the top company, like a Waze or a Google Maps or something like that, going to reach out and go, hey, we should use this. We should go ahead and say, hey, there's snow coming out, and there's a severe storm, tornado warnings, stuff like that. That would help detour traffic out of that area.
How are these things? How are these things not already in those apps?
If you it would be funny. Okay, Google. Oh, what's going to go off in my house? What's the forecast on my travel? John, you're better off waiting 10 minutes. You could save your life and not hit this tornado if
But
you,
they
if
do
you
that
delayed your
already.
travel by 10 minutes.
Waze does that already with traffic. Says
It does it with
Yeah.
traffic. But
this
it
is the
doesn't do
best
it
time
with
to
weather.
leave. So add weather to that algorithm, right? So it'll be interesting to see. But anyways, those are some things to play with. Let us know your experiences if you have any trips coming up. Like I said, I got trips. I'm just crisscrossing Ohio basically at this point. But but especially right now is the biggest concern because like, hey, where's the snow? What do I need to do to get there? I can't be like button up against and say, well, hey, this is how long it gets there, and then you run into snow and you're not, right? So like those are the kind of things because I got some tight events in multiple states I need to get to in the next couple months. So
I picture Sorg one day to be like the old Spy Hunter video game where like the car pulls off, it drives up into the tractor trailer, he pops out in a snowmobile. Like I think we can make a video game of this too while we're at it.
I think maybe all exists or something. So, guys, thank you so much for joining me. It's been an awesome cast. Though RIZZ plays games. Follow him on the Twitter as RIZZ plays games, and especially on that Twitch page.
Go sub to me, RIZZ plays games. $5.99 gets you all the cool stuff, but also I don't really mind if you don't. You can just come and hang out.
Come hang out. You're just looking for a friend. There you go. And of course, John Chilla at Chilla on the tweets.
John Chilla on the Facebooks.
There you go. Thank you everybody for joining us at Sorgatron on the Twitter. If you want to see my travels, I'm staying here in Pittsburgh. We got MMA this weekend, and I'm sending somebody to Erie to shoot wrestling. So we're still everywhere, but and it's going to be really interesting over the next several weeks, of course. So thank you everybody. You have been our awesome audience. Have an awesome week. This show is a member of the Sorgatron Media Podcast Network. Find out more at sorgatronmedia.com.